It's a team effort. What? What? Go sit down. What? Hey, YouTube. That's who I'm talking to, you, right there. I've got this picture of Hall & Oates. It's actually a record. It's Ooh Yeah by Hall & Oates behind the camera. But Daryl, John Oates. What? Oates is right under the camera lens where I should be looking. So as long as I, look at him, it should be good. Because I keep looking over here at me. I think that's a natural thing that people who make videos do. They look at themselves instead of looking at Oates. So if you have Oates, you look at Oates. I've got a cool video for you guys today. Thank you for joining me. Let me say first, if you're here and you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel. There goes the hand. Please subscribe to the channel. Please comment below if you have any questions. I answer all of them. Bell icon for when I do a new video. Who was I? Oates always brings it back. Today, for the first time, I'm wearing this hat here. It's my White Sox hat, and as you can tell, for no reason other than it was raining outside and we went for a walk. So, and I put this on. Little funny, friendly story about this guy. This thing's probably 25 years old, this hat, and it's falling apart, as you can see, and I'm afraid to wash it, so it's almost like organic at this point. Man, that's something. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, great hat. Wanted to share that with y'all. So today's video is my new friend Michelle Romo, awesome artist on Instagram. She has this cool book series about this little guy named Spencer, right? Children's books. And these things are really cool. They're really hard. But kid stories, very simple, very clear and concise and nice. Concise and nice. So check those out. Check Michelle Romo out. So that character is called Spencer. Oates. Look at the Oates. It's Spencer. There's a glare. And she wanted me to paint 2 3D printed resin figures of Spencer in the. She gave me a photo reference, so a little different than what's in the book. She wanted me to paint them to look like that, and I did. And they were just black, like gray charcoal 3D prints. Very nice 3D prints when I got them. And now they're this. Now they're nicely colored, lots of weird lights going on. So you're gonna get a closer look in just a second. In fact, why don't we go there now, and I'll talk about how I painted these. All right, so here are the books that I was talking about by Michelle Romo, from the Spencer series. Children's books. They're very cool. They're that like thick cardboard stock. Really nicely made. They have bright colors, glossy pages. Pretty short. What is that? Like less than 10 pages per book. And each one is a different sort of children's theme, I would say. These are really cool. And like I mentioned, it was an awesome project. This is really good, what you call your source material. When you get source material like this for a project, can't beat it. It's the best. So let me put these aside. Thank you, Michelle, for those books. So these are the 2 what you call your 3D printed resin figures. And initially they were just sort of almost black, like a charcoal color, which I will post. I'm probably splicing in pictures as I speak, but I'll post those somewhere in the video, and also a full sort of work in progress photos tutorial on my Patreon if you want a deeper dive into these guys. But man, what an awesome project. First of all, I don't know who did the prints, but they are exquisite. I didn't have to do any sanding. There were a couple little nubs that I had to, like, I guess where the 3D printed tree part, whatever support beam things were, I had to cut those off and sand that down. But it was just like a little tiny nub, just like a little dot, little thing. And a couple of those here and there. I think a total of 3 maybe. Anyway, clean prints, beautiful stuff. Awesome rendition example of her character Spencer. So as far as painting them, I started with a base coat. Since they were charcoal and I was going to be painting bright colors over them, I started with a base coat of a very light gray all over the whole thing, hand painted. I haven't gotten into airbrushing yet. If you have an airbrush, it would make something like this go much quicker for the base coat, maybe even for like the blocking of the head and the body with the yellow, if you taped it off so it wouldn't overlap, or not, you could just fix that up with your hands. And yeah, something like that would definitely help on a project like this, where you've got basically 3 blocks of color: the brownish for the head, the yellow for the body, and the black for the pants. You can mask that and paint it in 3. I did everything by hand, and because I love painting by hand. I have an airbrush. I haven't gotten it set up yet. I also live in a very small studio apartment, and I'm worried about vapor waves, or whatever they're called, the fumes. So the way I did it was, like I said, started with a light gray base coat, a couple coats of that to make sure it was fully covered. And then I mixed the sort of a light brown. I made it with my tester's, that's brass. Light's playing tricks on me. Leather, a touch of black, and mostly, I guess I started with my white, my flat white, mixed a little bit of leather in, a touch of black, that's gloss black, flat black, and then also a touch of your insignia red to give it sort of there's a bit of pink in the original what you call your original art that I was given. So that made for the brown here, which is it's a very grayish brown that I hand mixed. I'm going to move this light out of the way because I think it's messing with the colors. This purple light. Once I got that covered, you want your full coverage. No details at this point. The next was the yellow, which, what a pain in the butt, getting yellow to cover. So it was a very pale yellow. Started with white, my white again, and added my insignia yellow to that. Let's move these guys into the frame shot there. And I love dealing with primary colors and then changing the shade. So started with my white, added a little bit of yellow. That's really all it was in the mix, white and yellow. Make sure I got that coverage. I thinned it out with alcohol, rubbing alcohol, 70%, which I have right here. Boom. Swan doesn't sponsor this video. Swan Alcohol, give me a call. And thinned it out a little bit with that, or you can use water. And did probably about 6 or 7 layers of yellow to cover that body. The black was 2 colors, 2 coats of flat black. That was easy. And then the white for the shoes, which was my insignia white again, and just covered that. The red came later, and then I detailed the bottom of the shoe here. Let's get this to focus. Anyway, detailed the bottom of the shoe, or the side of the shoe, the wrap of the shoe with red. And then I'm going to get to the lines are going to be the last bit that I do or talk about. But the mouth was just flat white, mixed by pink for the ears and nose, out of the white and some red. The cheek pink, though, the little dots there, are a lighter shade than the ears and the nose. And then the flat black for the whiskers and the eyes. And then I coated the eyeballs. You can tell they've got the glint there with my Liquitex gloss varnish over the eyes. About 2 coats of that to make sure you get 1 coat. Might not cover completely, or it might not. You might see through it in a way, I noticed. So I had 2 coats of that and gave it that gloss. I love the contrast of the gloss over the flat. That's awesome. The whiskers, the dots here, everything was by hand. The eyes, the nose, the little cheek dots on the mouth, all of it by hand. You just have to have a steady hand, and if you don't, the biggest thing that's helped me with steady hands and painting with that kind of stuff is breathing exercises. So making sure, 1, that you're breathing and not holding your breath, and 2, making sure that you're breathing out as you swipe or dot. So it's take a deep breath and then out as you do your detail. deep breaths, keeping calm. I say tea over coffee keeps me steady. Coffee gets me a little jittery. And then for the stripes, this was a struggle a little bit. And as you can see, they're similar but not identical, the stripes, which, you know, as in any art, nothing's perfect. The dots up here at the top layer of the row of dots there was just by hand, dot, 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 dot. But the stripes, I started off with masking tape, my blue stuff here. Let me grab that. This blue stuff that we all have. I don't use it often, but I tried it on this, but since there's a taper, the body is wider at the bottom than it is at the top, so it tapers smaller as you go up. I placed the tape over, you know, around it, and then I cut another one to make the stripe, so a top layer, a bottom layer. The problem is that since there's a taper, as it goes around, there's cracks, okay? So your paint's gonna seep through. To keep that at a minimum, instead of slapping it on and trusting the line that I made with the tape, I very carefully used the edge of the tape as a guide and just painted my stripe along that. It minimized the bleeding of the paint, so that when I took it off, I then used acetone. I use acetone almost all the time. I use an acetone and a paintbrush, a little dab, less is more, and swiped off where it had bled through the stripes, and then went back with my yellow and my blues, and I doctored up, you know, keeping the as steady as you can, making the lines cleaner, clean them up that way. So I did that from top to bottom. The placement of the lines obviously is different, but they came out, I really like how they came out, and for the most part, pretty clean, pretty straight. And yeah, that was the biggest thing. It took me the body to paint the body with the stripes and all, the yellow, the blue, was each figure about 2 to 3 hours. The first one was 3 hours because I was getting the hang of it. The second one, I had already done one, knew what I was doing, so it was a couple hours. But you know, when you're doing projects like this, you're gonna put your time into it, but you get what you put into it. So I like what I got out of it, which means I put into it something good, right? Effort, patience, energy, time. So that's that, you know. Awesome project. Michelle was really cool bringing this to me. I love doing stuff that's outside of my wheelhouse, a little different from time to time. This was an awesome project, and I love how they turned out. Cute, classic, simple, yet not. Right? Right. What? Get the chair out of there. Get the chair out of there. What? So I hope that was helpful a little bit, at least. It was more than a pleasure to be able to work on these guys and paint these little Spencers. Anytime you get a clean 3D, all you folks out there printing 3D stuff, clean them. Flash and little nubs, little nubbins, things like that. Clean 3D prints are way nicer to paint than not 3D printed prints. These were very nice, and it's an awesome character, and I loved the color scheme that Michelle wanted for these. It just pops. Super cool. Very nice. Me and Spencer. Let's do this for the thumbnail, right? Do the thumbnail shot. Where'd my oats go? So yeah, great project. Thank you very much, Michelle. Go check her work out. If you enjoyed this video and found it was helpful, please let me know. If you didn't think it was helpful and you want me to change some stuff, or I didn't mention something, let me know that as well. If you didn't like my White Sox hat, keep it to yourself. If you enjoy oats, let me know. They're healthy, both listening to and eating. Like, subscribe, bell icon to the channel. That helps a lot. And if you would like to help out the channel directly, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/actoydesign, where I have my podcast, my Patreon exclusive, there he goes, Patreon exclusive podcast, You Like Toys. It's a Q&A that I do with the Patreon community over there. Ask me anything, we talk about it. We're doing the Discord over there, where we're going to do what you call your live video chats, group chats. It's going to be fun. It's also where I put all my behind the scenes stuff, all my tutorials for every figure that I make, every project that I do, photo tutorials explaining a deeper dive into what I do and how I do it. You can also get commissions from me on the Patreon. Again, patreon.com/actoydesign. It's a very cool community. I appreciate them so much. So if you're a part of it and you're watching this, thank you all very much. Thank you very much. I recently got to do my first Zoom chat with one of the patrons who I finished a commission for, and it was great, which I'm doing every time I finish a commission for somebody on Patreon. We're going to do a Zoom chat, a little 20-30 minute talk, just to show the figure off and get to know each other, because that's what it is. That's what the kind of community it is. So again, if you want to support the channel, see more videos, get bonus content, free podcasts, all that stuff, patreon.com/actoydesign. Check it out. Everything I used, I'm going to put the links below in the description, all the paints and brushes and stuff like that. And you can find me on social media. Instagram, AC Toy Design. Twitter, AC Toy Design. I think that's about it. I'm going to get out of here. What? All right, you guys. Hey, let's all try to stay positive. Bring this thing together, right? Thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by. I'll see you in the future. Big thumbs. Look at that. Sit, Muji, sit. Good dog. The big eye YouTube shot. I can't stand when people do that. Anyway, let's do a cool one.